Hello, everyone. Um, it's very late. I'm so sorry I'm late with this Black Widow video. Life has been very busy and emotionally taxing. So we're here now, and this is going to be very much unedited. It'll be an audio only video. I'll just have a little picture and we'll go from there. But I did really want to talk about Black Widow and my thoughts on the movie. I was very content with not seeing this film. And that sucks to say because Black Widow is one of my favorites. I adore her in the comics, and from what little we had in the MCU, I was really enjoying it. But I knew that there was no way I was going to pay to see this film because I was not pleased with how they treated her in the MCU. Not pleased at all. I made a video about that. I'll use the little card and put it up somewhere, but I expressed my distaste for her mistreatment, and I was pissed that this movie was coming out when it was. You waited until she was dead, canonically, to do this. More importantly, you waited until fans were getting on you. Because not only did she die, but then no one acknowledged her death. There was no funeral. There was no mention of anything. Like she wasn't a pivotal point in the film. Like she wasn't responsible for them being successful. It took fans getting on you for you to be like, oh, I guess she's not as insignificant as we thought she was. Maybe we should do something about that. So how do you rectify 10 years of mistreatment? You give us a prequel that really, at the end of the day, no one could care less about because her story is done. The stakes are not there, and they were not there in this movie. Period. How do you present to me a film about Black Widow, but I leave the film more interested in Yelena? I leave the film having a clear understanding of Yelena and not Black Widow. And this is her film. And I know why they did that with Yelena. They were setting her up to take the mantle, quote unquote, and move on and be the new Black Widow. I understand that. And you can do that. But for you to go as far as to overshadow Black Widow in her own movie? Come on. This was supposed to be your send-off. And it couldn't be less of a send-off. The movie was underwhelming and disappointing, but I'm not surprised because aforementioned treatment in the MCU. And I was into it in the beginning. That intro is my favorite MCU intro ever, point blank, period. I love the intro for this movie. It was different, it was grounded, it was thrilling to see them running from Shield. Was it Shield? I think it was either Shield, the FBI, someone. They were running from law enforcement, and then they are shipped into the Red Room. I was like, oh, maybe we're gonna get a different movie. Maybe this is not gonna be what all the reviews have been saying. Because I try to go into films with an open mind, and I was completely wrong. Oh my God. All we wanted was a grounded spy thriller. Maybe rated R. Because when I think of a Black Widow movie, I think of something that's rated R. But that's what we wanted. Maybe just something simple, but effective, and fun, and action-packed, and badass. But you didn't give us that. You didn't. And then you tried to shove, oh, women are powerful, women are amazing. And you did it in such a lazy, horrible way. And it didn't have to be like that. I don't understand. Everything was okay until the third act. And that's typically when an MCU movie would lose me in some cases, is the third act, because it just goes off the rails. and it's completely detached from reality. And in some cases, that's okay because they're not really set on Earth, they're not really in reality, it's like they're in space or whatever. That's fine. But for Black Widow, you needed to be grounded. Your third act should have been grounded. As soon as they went in the sky to go confront Dreykov and deassemble the Red Room, I was like, you lost me. Black Widow flying through the sky, going after Taskmaster or running from her. It was a mess. It was a mess. The action scenes, I like them for the most part. I'm not gonna lie. The battle between Nat and Yelena was really fun. I really enjoyed that scene. Let's see, when they were running from Taskmaster in the car and everything, I thought that was great. But again, that third act, I didn't like any of the action scenes in the third act. I didn't like any of them. Nat versus Dreykov, what was that? What was this whole thing about this mind control? What was it? Dust? What is this thing with comic book movies when you use dust and you fix everything? Everything is fine. They did the same shit in Titans with the kryptonite. You couldn't get a rock. I'm getting off track. I'm sorry. It's late. I'm getting off track. Back to Black Widow. The mind control dust was so dumb. How do you reduce the trauma that these women experience in the Red Room, being stripped of their humanity and their womanhood, and you crumble that all the way down to mind control dust? You break it and you're free. That's it. All the years of trauma and almost you were a slave to this man. All of that is gone. It's gone. It's fine. They did it with Yelena. Like, as soon as she was out of control of Dreykov, I don't know. They did that thing where everything is played for a joke. There are very serious moments in this movie, and it's undercut with a joke. And I hate that. Why? Stop doing that. Stop undercutting your serious moments with a joke. You're removing its importance, the tension, it's all gone. That's what they did with Yelena and some of the trauma that she had endured while being in the Red Room. It was played for a joke. Don't do that. Don't do that. And even with Nat, they didn't discuss nearly as much as they did with her experience in the Red Room. This is her film. Let's talk about Taskmaster. Taskmaster. Oh my God. To me, it is so disrespectful. Why would you go throughout the entire movie? Taskmaster is performing stunts, doing these action scenes, and it is clear as day that it is a man doing these stunts. Clear as day. And then you take off the helmet and it's a woman. To me, that is so disrespectful to the stunt double who is doing all the work. What? Like, I don't understand. Are there not female stunt doubles out there who could do this? Why wouldn't you adapt to your story? Adapt the characters for your story. If you want Taskmaster to be a woman, cool, great. But you need to adapt your action scenes, adapt the stunt doubles to fit that. Don't bring in a guy to do all these moves and all these action scenes and it turns out it was a woman. You're just undercutting everything that this man has done in the suit. And then it's like, okay, you want Taskmaster to be a woman. Cool, fine, great. It's the little girl that Nat thought she killed and that's been haunting her all this time, even though this is the first time we've ever heard of it. This is what I'm talking about with these bullshit prequels. That should have haunted her entire career. And maybe that's what she was talking about when she said she wanted to wipe red off of her ledger. But I think that should have been conveyed more throughout her time in the MCU. But I digress. This is Taskmaster. They fight. Nat breaks the vial of mind control dust, and it's fine. It's all fixed. It's all wrapped in a bow, just like every other obstacle they have faced in this movie. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe what I was looking at. You know what I would have liked? I would have liked if Nat broke the vial of the mind control dust and it didn't work. It didn't work. And it turned out that Taskmaster, I think her name was Antonia, but I may be wrong, so I'm not going to stick with that. It should have been Taskmaster really just hated her that much, which would make sense. She bombed a building knowing that child was in there. That would drive someone to want revenge and work under their father. You wouldn't need any sort of mind control. But you didn't do that. That would have been a nice twist. And then Nat would have had to find another way to defeat her. It's so ridiculous. I'm sorry I can't convey my thoughts in a more articulate manner, but it's just ridiculous. Black Widow is one of my favorites, and this was her movie. And we're not going to see her again. And then you have this post-credit scene with Yelena talking to Valentina. And she's like, well, this is the man who killed your sister, and it's Hawkeye. You could have put that shit at the end of Endgame. I'm just being honest. I really think you could have slid that in there. And then when Captain America and the Winter Soldier came out, that would have given us more of an introduction into Valentina. And then when Black Widow comes out, boom, the pieces are fitting. There was no need for that post-credit scene to be there. And it's just like, well, where are we gonna go from here? Red Guardian. Oh, Red Guardian. When I saw the trailer and I realized Red Guardian was going to be her dad, Nat's fake dad, I was like, oh boy, what a missed opportunity. And I know that Red Guardian has had multiple identities in terms of multiple people have had that mantle, but they used Alexei, who in the comics, he married Natalia. That was her first husband. And then he died. I believe he faked his death, but he died. And that caused Nat to go deeper, way deeper into the Red Room. She lost her soul from his death. And I just think, what a missed opportunity to really put that in there. In a movie about Black Widow, you could have put that in there. And really focused on how the Avengers helped her regain her humanity, or not even the Avengers, being a part of S.H.I.E.L.D., climbing out of the Red Room, regaining her soul and humanity, but still having little flashbacks. I think that would have been amazing, but we didn't get that. And then within the context of the movie, the entire film, Alexei was complaining that, or not really complaining, but he was lying that he went against Captain America and won. And it's clear that that's something he wanted to do, but they pulled him out. Then you put him in a situation where he is faced with someone with Captain America's skill and strength, aka Taskmaster, and you cut away from the fight. No payoff. No payoff. The mother, I don't know. I don't care. She didn't really leave an impression on me, so oh well. I thought the family dynamic was fine, but a lot of it was undercut. A lot of the more serious moments, again, were undercut with jokes. So I would have preferred a movie focused on Nat and Hawkeye in Budapest. We still haven't had any sort of visual cue on what happened in Budapest. I want to know what happened with Nat and Hawkeye while they were in Budapest. When they were running from Taskmaster, and Nat was explaining how they hit an event for 2 days or 2 weeks or something like that. They fought to get out of the city. Like, all of that sounded more interesting than what we got in this movie. And of course, Nat being the only person in her family with no Russian accent ticked me off. Do you know how... One instance I can think of right now where Natasha Romanoff has had a Russian accent, and that is the Ultimate Avengers movies. Those animated films that came out way back when. That is the only time that I can think of that she has had a Russian accent. Jeez. Oh, man. It's just so disappointing. I want better for her, but it's too late now. She deserved better, and unfortunately, she's not going to get it anytime soon. So, I'm going to dive back into the comics. It's a damn shame. Those are my unfiltered thoughts on the film. I know I'm super late to the game, but what did you guys think? Let me know. I'm going to publish this tomorrow. And I also have another video concerning the MCU that I'm going to do, but I'm going to do that tomorrow when I have had sleep. So thank you guys for listening, and I will catch you guys most likely tomorrow, but if not, definitely the weekend when I normally post videos. Check you guys later. Bye.